So I just finished another video yesterday. So I was gonna tell you guys a little bit about what's coming down the pipe here. So welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. If you've never been here, this is Mr. Eddie Barber. And a lot of times I like to go live just before I'm about to go into work. Sometimes I like to go live a little early like this, give you guys a little bit of motivation. It is a Friday. It will be a busy day. And I know some of you guys, morning Amber, morning. I know it's been a while since I've been live. I know. And so I just thought I'd jump on here real quick for a little bit here and give you guys a little bit of morning motivation. You know what I mean? Because everybody needs it from time to time. So what's up, FloJoy? Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for jumping in. So, you know, every day we get up and we work towards something, you know what I mean? And when you really get right down to it, have you set any of these goals to actually get towards what you're working towards? So that's kind of what I wanted to speak on today. So lately, this is what we've been doing with my son. So one of my sons, he's like a competitive golfer, right? And he wants to get better. And golf is a real tricky sport to get better in. There's so many things that you might do that might make you think that you are getting better, but you're not. So being that I'm kind of goal-oriented myself, the way I like to set things up, it is absolutely essential that we set things up. So we kind of did things like this. We did it like what's up, Forrest Gump? Hey, Jenny. Now, so we kind of set things up a little bit different. So initially, I was trying to take some of the strategies from Call of Duty. What does Call of Duty do? Call of Duty makes you play the game because it incentivizes you to play the game. It makes it easier because you're going to get better weapons, you're going to get better skills, and as you go on, you're going to hopefully become a better player. Actually, you're probably still going to suck. But I was just joking. But anyways, that incentive system kind of was something that I thought about for the kids, you know? So what we did initially was I would make him accomplish kind of 10 steps, and the 10 steps was kind of like I was just kind of judging how hard he was working. And if he worked hard enough for a period of time, he would be rewarded. But now that he's gotten a little bit older, we switched it to 10 goals. Each one of them is pretty difficult. Like, for instance, one would be two-putting 50 times from 50 feet. And, you know, going 9 holes with only 18 putts and things like that. So setting up these goals, I've actually seen a huge difference in his performance. And I noticed that when I set up goals for myself, like if I say like, I want to have X amount of money in my account, I want to do X amount of things, I want to get X amount of views on these videos, I want to do that allowed me to say like, what steps do I got to put in place? All right. And the other thing that happened is I want to shout out Fort Worth Barber Supply. I have the new UV single foil shaver from Babyliss. And yo, this thing is on another level. The video, I finished it yesterday. It will release on Monday. Actually, for my members, I might release it early for you guys, but for the rest of you guys, it will be Monday. I literally just finished it yesterday. I will put it up probably tonight for the members. But yo, this UV light that's inside of this shaver is nice. It's heavy. It is of a high quality, and you guys could check that out. The other thing I got the Von the Goat. Excuse me. I got the Von the Goat Babyliss Low Pro scent as well. So what they did was they created 3 different color schemes. They got one yellow, one blue, and the one I got was red. And mine comes with a fade blade. And that clipper is actually pretty sweet. I like it, but I'm not lying when I tell you guys it got hot. And I got my heat gun here with me again today. I'm gonna switch blades. I think there's something going on with these Babyliss fade blades. I don't know if you guys have worked with them. Personally, that is the first babeless fade blade I think I've worked with in forever. And that thing got 125 degrees. So when I say hot, I mean like it was really hot. But the other thing that's kind of crazy about it is it cools down. It cools down like really quick. So then we got a whole lot of things going on with Gamma and Stylecraft. We've been putting together this like education team, and it's about to lift off in May. And depending on where you guys are from, I plan on expanding this throughout the whole country. So if you guys are interested in potentially becoming a Gamma ambassador, where you would go around and you would teach my curriculums, there's a couple of different things that you would learn, and there's kind of like a retreat and everything that everybody goes to do this. What's up, Blurry? What's up, K Will? So yeah, that's the other thing too, is basically what we're doing is we're doing like a 3-day retreat where there's going to be, you know, a lot of fun things like bonding, everything like that's going to happen. But we're going to be dedicated to learning these curriculums to go out and kind of teach these people. And I'm kind of honored by the fact that they're going to be using the 6 phases. They're going to be using my clipper over comb curriculum, and then I created another curriculum as well. So for the members, you guys will be receiving the new version of the 6 phases, because now that it's being used in another way, I can't keep releasing those for free because people are paying to see them. Obviously, I'm going to leave the original 6 phases there. I get messages all the time about how, you know, people had watched all 6 phases and actually learned how to cut hair, and for that, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for that. However, the members will continue to get some of these videos, and we're gonna continue to make it happen for you guys. So I plan on redoing all the 6 phases in a little bit better way, with a couple of minor changes, because as we grow into this, right, we kind of learn what works and what doesn't. We kind of start to see some of the techniques that other people are trying, and if they're struggling or if they're not. And I've had the great fortune, it's one thing to be a good barber, but the truth is, being a good barber does not make you a good teacher. And I learned that, I think, in my first day at barber school. I just thought that I'm going to tell these guys everything I know, and then when they go back to the shop, they're going to be just like me, and they're going to cut hair just like me. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And what I have learned is there are certain mistakes that every new barber seems to make, and sometimes they'll make these mistakes for a long time. All right, and just to name a few off the top of my head, leaving the head instead of using the head to anchor, they tend to do that. I think a lot of people who don't cut hair, they just think in their head that we're getting lucky every time and we're just flipping our wrist and we just are great wrist flippers. Like, that's not true. Like, today I might drink 10 cups of coffee and my hand might shake, but the techniques that I use, I will deliver the exact same results over and over and over again, because of that. So, you know, that's one thing. And another thing I see a lot is, and it really, a lot of it boils down to flipping the wrist. Go ahead, buddy. You want to cut me off? It's okay. A lot of it boils down to flipping the wrist, where people think they should be doing that. And there is times when you can flick your wrist in a safe way. But the essence of coming up with the same cut over and over again is actually when you rely upon your guards and you get your blade flat. And there's so many more that I have written down over the years, because as you get better at this, it gets harder to teach. And that's the truth of it. So I've also had the good fortune of showing up and doing a lot of these pop-up classes where, you know, last month I flew to Albany. This month I'm going to fly to Rochester, New York, and I'm going to teach a class of a similar nature. And each time that I deal with certain people, I already know what the problems are going to be before I get there, and I try to adjust the curriculum accordingly. So with that being said, it doesn't make you a good teacher just to be a good barber. It makes you good to do something, practice it, and be willing to be humble enough to receive the criticism well and make the necessary adjustments. So that's kind of what I try to do each and every time. And I can tell you one thing, you guys, if you are filming your work, thank you, Amber, I appreciate that. Blurry 30 Cuts, that's a dope name. Yeah, so if you're teaching and you start to develop patterns, you can write these things down, you can figure them out. So this is some of the goals that I've had, and when I set out to remake these curriculums and do all these other videos, and a lot of it is with Stylecraft and with Gamma, they pretty much said, hey, go ahead and do all this, and I was left with this like mountain to climb. And it was like the anxiety that set in. It was like, okay, I know how to do all this stuff, all right, but thinking about doing all of it simultaneously is more than anybody can really think about at one time. Which is why when I taught and when I teach, I try to take like a departmentalized approach. We're like, yo, all we're worried about is putting in the skin line in the right location. You ain't thinking about blend, you ain't thinking about edge, you're not thinking about all the other stuff you got to do. You just got to narrow your focus, departmentalize it, and then just take care of it. One little step at a time, and make it very digestible and very easy. You guys want to hear about the dumbest student I ever had? I kid you not. All right, I won't say his name. I won't say his name, but if you guys want to hear the story, I'm going to have to see a comment or something, because I'm getting pretty close to work. I'm going to wrap it up. But I have had I've had some interesting characters over the years. I did work just for those of you guys who don't know, I did work as a barber instructor for about 10 years. But never in all that time did I ever have somebody like this particular guy. We'll call him Joe, not his real name. But Joe comes to get his barber license, and he signs up. Now he's in the class. I think he's just like everybody else at first. There was like 20 people in this next class, and he keeps telling me that his uncle owns a barber shop, and he's been cutting hair forever, and he's just here to get his license. And that's true. Sometimes, I shouldn't say in his case it wasn't. We'll get to that. But sometimes people came to barber school, and they were unbelievably talented, and they had been cutting hair for a long time. So I always kind of took what people said at first, and believed it. But well, Joe, this guy proved me wrong. So he's trying to cut everybody's hair. I'll fade you up. I'll fade you up. I'll fade you up. Yo, this is day one. We're supposed to be going over our equipment, of which he hasn't got a clue. And I'm looking for Joe. All of a sudden, I can't find him. I go in the other room, and he's messing up one of the staff people from upstairs' his hair. I mean, he's got this hair all sorts of messed up. It ain't nowhere near complete. I have obligations and responsibilities to do with every student who starts on their first day, and this dude is impeding. So I decided to sit back and watch him just to see what he knows. And this was the thing that really bothered me the most. He picked up the razor, and let's say this is the leading edge of the razor, so you would use it this way. He was using it this way. And that's when I lost my shit. I was no longer, let's just say I was upset, because now I realize he's just an idiot. And I also realize I have to finish this haircut, and I have to fix this dude's haircut. And then I still have the responsibility of going through the kit with him, whether he wants me to do it or not. So you would think that this would be enough, because I went up to him and I said, Joe, put these tools down. I'm going to finish this haircut. You have no clue what you're doing. You don't even know how to use a razor. You're using it backwards. And I was just bluntly honest with him, because I was so fucking pissed, because I just realized, like, the nerve of this guy. He should be in this whole other room. So, regardless, you would think that will put an end to it. Oh no, not with Joe. Every day he continued to do the same thing or some form of that thing. Every day when I walk in, he say, "Oh, what's up, man? You want me to cut you up? Yo, your cut looking kind of rough. I'll cut you up." And I'm like, I realized that this guy, something's just wrong with him. Something's just wrong with him. So this is actually kind of funny. So I've actually got to the point where I just pretty much ignore him in class because there's not really much you can do with somebody who doesn't want to learn at all. And as passionate as I am as a teacher, I am also a realist. Like, in all reality, there was students who would come and just be wasting their time and wasting their money, and I could almost spot who those people were the moment they got in the classroom. There was certain people whose barber tuitions were paid off that just quit. There was people who quit for good reasons. There was people who quit for bad reasons. I mean, I seen every version of this you can see. But so I get to the point where I just can't stand Joe no more. And he comes in one day and he's all sad. Now I'm like, what the hell? He's sad? What could he be sad about? So he tells me, I'm moving to Alaska. I said, oh no, Joe, I'm gonna miss you. Oh my God, Alaska. Now we live in Florida. So yeah, I'm gonna go work on the oil lines. I got this good job lined up, everything. Okay. So he up and leaves. He left like his entire barber kit, like every single thing you get from the books to the thing. Now Joe's gone, I kid you not, for 3 years. He's gone for 3 years. And in that time, we only have so much space in the teacher's closet. It's the only closet I use. I lock it. I keep some of my stuff in there. Well, after a while, I'm like, dude, this kit's got to go. So I just give it away to some of the students who are in need. It's been sitting there for 2 years. We're not a storage unit. So I give it away to all the students. Like, hey, you need some clips. You need a clipper. You need a trimmer. Wouldn't you know, the day I give that shit away, Joe comes back. And he says to me, yeah, Ed, I think I left my stuff here and this and that. I'm ready to get started, go back to barbering. And I'm like, oh my God, what would be the odds the day I gave it away, he would come the very next day? So I told him, I was like, Joe, we're not a storage unit, bro. Anything that you had left here, you're going to have to rebuy. And then thank God he never actually signed back up for school. So I thought that was actually pretty funny, man. But he was probably the worst student I think I had ever had. He said, always tell the new jacks, never say I know, listen and learn. Even if you don't agree, appreciate that someone will take the time to educate you. That's an interesting comment, K. Will. Thank you, man, for that. Because this is kind of like one of them funny situations that I had. This was in a barbershop, right? There was somebody who was like really messing up people's haircuts at one point in the barbershop. And, all of us kind of knew it. And almost nobody really wanted to do anything about it. So one of the barbers stepped up and he said something to him. So he went over to him and he said, hey, man, you kind of, you got to finish these haircuts out a little different. You got to do this. You got to do that. And that barber lost their mind on them. It totally blew up in his face for trying to help him. And this is the thing, is this person wasn't ready to receive the criticism. And I think he made it worse by knowing that it was true. But I had intervened after a second, and I kind of was like the intermediary in this situation. And I said, do you think he's getting paid to come over here and try to help you out? He's not. He's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. Does he make any extra money at the end of the day if you do good haircuts or you don't? He don't. It ain't got nothing to do with him. He was just trying to help you out and you couldn't see it. But, some people are hard of head. Hey, I'm going to show you guys these UV ones. You guys can get a little sneak peek since you're here with me live. I got to set this. Hold on. I'm going to set this right here because ain't nobody else in here yet. And I still got to set up my station. So let's see here. Peter McKinnon backpack. I love this thing. Dude. This thing right here Watch this. That'll stay on for a while. These have a 5.5 hour runtime. You know what's funny is like when I do this right here, it kind of reminds me. We used to use the UV light sterilizers for years in the barbershop, and there's like a smell that UV light puts in it, and that smell is there like when I use that right there under my nose. But you guys see they got USB-C, and it can be plugged in. And then the other thing that's kind of cool. Let me get the other tool, if I can find it. Oh, I got it in here. I don't know if I'm going to do any filming today. Okay, so this here is the charger for my new Low Pro. This Low Pro is Devon the Goat edition, right? So obviously it's going to charge this, but the other thing cool is it'll actually charge this as well. So I don't know if this is the right thing to do. So if you mess yours up, it's not on me. I typically don't work with these tools, but I think if these are actually the way they're like the way they seem, this charging, this continuity that they're starting to do, I think we're looking out for some pretty cool tools that are on the way from Babyliss. I mean, in all reality, they have needed to do this for a long time because they've just been one of the companies that just has a lot of great machines, but a lot of fucking chargers to try to remember what one's what, especially for somebody like me when I'm not really using their stuff all the time. And here's my old Low Pro, which, you know, is pretty old. It's pretty beat up. But as you can see, one comes with the fade blade and one comes with the wedge blade. And if any of you guys are new to this live or didn't hear me say it earlier, I actually brought my heat gun. If I let this run for 15 minutes under no resistance, I had it reach 125 degrees. Only with this blade. I've never, ever had any trouble with the wedge blade. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap these two blades out because I like this shiny new one, but I would rather have the wedge blade on it. And I really don't need a fade blade. These wedge blades are dope. I should actually take this one because as much as these clippers are cool, these levers wear out. This is already the second lever, and it's like it's already at that point where like when I go to touch the head, watch the lever, it'll just close. And I don't even really got to push it that hard. It literally will just happen. So, you know, these levers, they wear out. So I would almost rather see this gold one on here. I think that would look kind of dope, wouldn't it? And then I wouldn't have to take this one down because I like this one. But like I say, I don't really work with these too often. It was just Fort Worth Barber Supply. You guys can use my code Eddie10 if you want to buy anything outside of Gamma or Stylecraft. But all right, you guys, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys for jumping in here in the live. I will be releasing a video to the members tomorrow and to the rest of you guys on Monday. All right, you guys get out there, kill it on Friday. And this is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm out of here. Peace.